Also, I want to recognize AIT Chairman Ray Burghardt, who has joined us. And Ray, I don't know if I could persuade you to possibly make a few remarks, given your direct involvement in this important relationship and the fact that you've just returned as the first representative of the new Obama administration to visit Taiwan. So if I could persuade you to make a few remarks, that would be terrific.
About 45 minutes. Actually, I wrote this in the taxi on the way here. I had plenty of time since DC taxis don't seem to know where the Capitol Visitor Center is yet. So thank you, Randy. Great to be here with all of you. Joseph, good to see you again. Actually, I noticed that at least in your choice of tie, you're being very bipartisan with the nice blue and green stripes there. So, yeah. There are going to be a lot of remarks here at this session, as Shirley already made, about the military aspects of the Taiwan Relations Act. Those, of course, are the core. They are the critical commitments that the U.S. made. I won't go over those, but as I listened to those and I thought about remarks I'm going to make at another occasion about the TRA, it occurred to me that not enough attention is given to the central intent of the TRA, which was to preserve the relationship, to find a clever way to let everything go on pretty much as it had gone on, even though we were going to be changing some names. And as someone who spent 5 years between Taipei and Washington working on the relationship, it's been remarkably successful. Anyone who has visited AIT knows that it looks like an embassy, it walks like an embassy, it acts like an embassy, it issues visas, it has representatives of all the agencies you would expect to find there. It works very well. I used to sometimes tell my own staff when they started to get too deep into the names and so forth, I said, remember guys, we don't have to believe our own fictions. I know I'm going to get in trouble for that one, but okay. Yeah, the fact is it works very, very well. And frankly, it became the model for other countries. None of them, in my opinion, got as close to creating a mechanism that preserved virtually all the functions of a formal relationship as we did. But they got in varying degrees of closeness, and without our model, I don't think that the others would have had perhaps the courage or the idea of doing it that way. So it played a very important role, I think, in not only Taiwan being able to, and the United States being able to continue to have a constantly deepening relationship, but for Taiwan to do that with other countries as well. One of the things that if you look at the relationship over the last 30 years, just on the trade and economic side, it has continued to get more and more important. I mean, I constantly stress, and I love to do it to my PRC friends also, that this is an important relationship. We need to have people talking to each other. We need to be interacting. Taiwan investment, U.S. investment in Taiwan until a very few years ago was actually larger than it was in the PRC. The PRC is now, we now have more in the PRC, but it's amazingly close. Taiwan is I don't know what, as far as our trading partner, it's way up there. It's in the top, it's one of the top trading partners. In agricultural goods, it's very, very high. I used to love to say that per capita, you've heard me say, per capita after Canada, the Taiwanese people eat, drink, wear, and smoke. More American agricultural products than anybody else in the world. And it's true, it's true. It's a very important market. Of course, it'd be better if there'd be more, sort of more of that, yeah. There's a little bone-in porterhouse would help, but yeah. So, but the only other thing I'd say is, if you look back at the history of the TRA and how it came about, not only was the role of Congress obviously critical in making the act turn out right, but it's very interesting to see the very important role that was played at that time by the private American community in Taiwan. The American Chamber of Commerce, the American business community in Taiwan, they were very important. They were coming here and had lots of interaction with the Congress. It's sort of a classic example of the role of civil society in America and how our system works. And the act probably would not have turned out as well as it did in protecting all of the, one of the things the act did was that all of the laws that applied to our relationship with Taiwan and all of the legal contracts and all of the regulations, all of those were very carefully left in place. And that kind of, very lawyerly and careful language, to some extent, apparently, including what I've read, came from the recommendations and the help of the American business community. And then we had great cooperation at the time from people like Fred Chen and others who were in the government in making sure that things like the Taiwan American School, the radio station, the youth groups, all these things which had depended upon the U.S. military presence were able to continue without the military presence. And that was critical because, as anyone who served overseas knows, those kind of institutions are part of the infrastructure of the American presence overseas. So I think we can, we all can talk about certain things that can be made, it can be fixed, can be done better. One of the things, if you look at the way we've implemented the Taiwan Relations Act over the years, there has been a constant process of moving the envelope, of doing things that before people said we couldn't do, having active duty military officers serve in AIT, for example. Both small and large things have happened that have made it work better. I would say, in terms of the military sales, we can all talk about whether something should have happened faster or something should happen faster now, but all good things come to those who wait. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Ray.